What do you want to know about your meat before you buy it? Is it antibiotic free? Was it humanely raised? More consumers than ever want transparency in meat production and are willing to pay more for it. This is transforming the meat industry. Joining us now to discuss is Ariane Daguin, CEO and founder of DArtagnan, a purveyor of organic and gourmet meats. Welcome, Ariane. So great to have you here.
Thank you, Tanya.
When you began your company in 1985, is that right?
Right.
What was the goal? What sort of meat did you hope to bring to the public?
Well, at the very beginning, at d'Artagnan, we were the purveyor of the chefs in the restaurants. So the goal, because of that and because of my family background, 7 generations of chefs in Gascony, southwest France, the main goal, the one goal was taste. Best taste possible. Let's put out the best meat possible. And it's very easy to see after that, once you have that mission, to see that the best meat possible come only from animals that are being well raised. Raised
so the connection between what people want to see, which is antibiotic-free and humanely raised, and delicious meat is very close.
It goes together.
It goes together.
Totally.
And now it just so happens that you're seeing the trend that this is really what consumers want. They want to know where their meat comes from. They want to know what it was fed. They want to know how the animals were treated. Is that right?
That's totally right. And they don't have all the tools to figure it out. So they still have to rely on reputation of certain brands. And but there is an evolution.
Yes.
And the evolution is going the right way. You can see now all the factory farms of chickens in America touting antibiotic-free. It's a big progress.
Yes.
It's not going to make it really good,
yes,
but it's still a big progress not to have medication in your chicken.
Absolutely. And what about the issue of being humanely raised? Because I know many vegetarians, and they say that they chose to become vegetarians. A big reason was the way they saw animals being treated in the meat industry.
Right.
So how important is it, do you think, that the meat industry gets a handle on that? And how do you treat your animals?
It's very difficult. It's a very difficult question because you cannot treat animals the right way if you think they are factory gadgets.
Yes.
So you cannot do that in a huge environment. You have to use, like we've been doing from the beginning, networks of small farms and small ranchers. And that's the only way that you can find an environment where the animals are going to have room to roam and are going to have, without giving them names, because at the end you do kill them.
Yes.
You still respect them,
yes,
as you know, a live being.
Yes.
And that's the only way. It's the small farm.
Right.
That's the only
and where are most of your farms? Are they in the...
It depends which species. Beef is mostly in the Midwest. We do have a Wagyu rancher, a woman Wagyu rancher in Texas.
Oh, wonderful.
I think she's the only one in the US. Otherwise, poultry in general is in the Amish community, the one in Pennsylvania, another one in Indiana, near our Chicago hub.
And these are smaller farms, which makes easier
only
to
small
control.
farms. That's a key to being able to control how many square feet you have per animal,
yes,
and the animal husbandry.
Because all of your meat is considered organic and humanely raised, and
not necessarily all organic,
all of it,
because organic is one more step. It's just the feed. The feed has to be certified organic.
Yes.
And there are some species where to go there makes it totally out of range price-wise. So we do have chickens that are organic, but we also have a chicken that we call Green Circle.
Yes.
It's our Green Circle where they actually eat scraps of vegetables from the Amish market. That is next door, and so it's a little bit like our ancestors were raising poultry, where they are free to roam outside, they peck on things, and on top of that they have the vegetables that the consumers didn't want at the market.
Farm to table, as they say. Now, I'm curious also, you say that you see a rising trend in a demand for game.
Yes.
Bison, and what other unusual meats are making their way to the tables?
When I started d'Artagnan, it was 31 years ago, there was not much on the menus in the US. There was the chicken, the beef, the lamb, a little pork, and that's it. Today, you have a whole range of things that chefs are very excited about creating around. And so, indeed, venison, buffalo, for the taste, also because it happens to be meats that are very high in protein, very low in fat, but still very tasty because of the idiosyncrasies of the...
And so are there bison farmers and
yes.
that just raise bison for meat consumption?
Absolutely,
Fantastic.
absolutely. And by the way, it is thanks to the bison farmers and thanks to the fact that the consumers wanted to taste a bison burger or a bison strip loin, that bison is not extinct in the US. It was becoming extinct, and thank God for the commercialization of it.
They're proliferating now. So how important now, do you think, in the meat industry is proper labeling? I mean, people really want to see the transparency on the label. Is that right?
Right.
So is that something, is that a big trend that you're seeing now?
I hope it's not a trend. I hope it's a real thing that's going to go. But it's not perfect. It's very incomplete. There are big lobbies who are trying to change the meanings of things, and so it's a constant battle for us.
Do you have advice then for a consumer who goes into a restaurant, let's say? What sort of questions might they ask the waiter to find out where their meat is coming from and whether it's quality meat?
In general, if the restaurant has a good reputation, if it is a good meat to begin with, there is a very good chance it comes from a reputable purveyor that takes his job seriously and that the meat will be good. But there is not much else besides asking questions to the waiter or to the chef.
That's it. And the concern behind antibiotic use in animals, is that warranted? Is it dangerous for humans?
Yes. I mean, I'm no doctor, but I have a daughter, and I was sure during all her youth that, and even now, that she wouldn't eat medication that wasn't
prescribed. Yes,
exactly, exactly.
I'm the same way with my children. I buy only organic or grass-fed if I can, you know, as pure as possible. I think that's a good trend.
We're going there. On the poultry, I think it's done. All the big guys, all the small guys, everybody's antibiotic-free and from birth. There are some things going around, like is a vaccine at the beginning in the egg or in the one-day-old chick, is that considered
the details,
you know, well, it's not
important. But it's an important.
It's an important detail. Those are the lobbying at work. But still, there is that conscience of the consumer, and the big guys got it. In the meat, it's much more difficult.
Ariane Daguin, thank you so much for all of your insight into the meat industry. This was fascinating. Thank you so much.